That unsettling clip you just saw was from one of 3 private videos sent by a user of the name JavJepic. He states that the footage he has found is from someone he hasn't been able to get in contact with for quite some time, and believes that the answers to the disappearance are in the footage. So without much hesitation, I opened the first video. It seems that the protagonist's name is Godboy0, and he gets greeted by a player named Branded. Then soon after, he found a dirt pillar and then followed a trail of torches. I'm assuming the idea was to find something by following it, which isn't a bad idea in theory, because it actually eventually leads him to a sign. The sign stated, "Jav's Epic Mine. Do not enter unless you're Jav." So now we know that Jav is someone that actually played on the server. But Godboy decides to ask who that is, and I mean, first, who cares who that is? You've just joined a server, you're not gonna know who anyone is, and second, you didn't even get a response. Kinda strange, kinda mean, considering he's been talking this whole time. Maybe he wasn't at his computer. No, he definitely was. Okay, he totally just ghosted him. Yo, bro. Yo. Welcome to the Minecraft server. Alright, a pretty wholesome interaction with Branded. He seems like a completely normal player on a completely normal Minecraft world. And I'm not trying to foreshadow anything too. I'm serious. This place is incredibly typical. Bruh. Okay, Godboy has already started stealing stuff, but doesn't look like Branded cares too much. In fact, it looks like Godboy has actually hit it off with Branded. He casually shows him around the world like it's all completely normal. Put simply, they act like friends who have known each other for years. But it doesn't take long before things start to feel off. There. Thank you! Where can I build? Yeah, if you want. It's empty. I'll be right back. Gonna get some oak. No. It didn't seem like Godboy thought much of this. Bugs happen all the time in video games. A cow getting hit by thin air probably isn't the weirdest thing that's ever happened to him. Plus, it was turning nighttime, so it most likely was just a skeleton shooting from afar. So, all Godboy had on his mind right now was finishing his base. But something even weirder happened right after this. It's extremely hard to spot, but if you look closely at the screen, you can see a black figure move behind the building. You said it was just us. Yeah? Why? I saw another player. It had a blacked out skin. Is that Jav? No matter how many questions Godboy had asked about this random player, Branded just didn't answer. But last time Godboy had a question on Jav, there was no response. Either he's just avoiding the question, or he's actually not at his computer this time. My bad, I'm back. Yo! I don't really know why, but Godboy didn't ask the same questions again, or bring up the blacked out player. Was this maybe because he didn't want to annoy Branded, in case he was actually mad about the question? Maybe this Jav person is someone that was close to Branded. We gotta connect it to the path. Once it's done. True! Seems like the wholesome interactions are back. Branded wants to connect a path to Godboy's house when he's done with it, and it seems like the house itself is coming together pretty nicely. As Godboy was finishing up his base, he... Hello? Yo, what's up? I just saw that player again. Where? Come to the boat dock. I saw him go this way. Was that you? Who placed that pillar? Again, you may not see it, but there's a dirt pillar up there where the blossom trees are. I assume Godboy brought it up because he didn't actually know where the blacked out player went and needed some kind of lead, but surprisingly, Brandon didn't seem to know. What pillar? Here. After some looking around, it seemed that Brandon didn't actually know about the pillar at all. He just said no. I mean, it's not out of the ordinary for some random structures to be built on a server without anyone knowing, so it can just be brushed off, but Brandon and Godboy were still on a mission to find who that player was. I'll look in that cave there if you want to look somewhere else. Sure. Lucky I have dynamic lighting. Wait. I think I found something. Weird cave. But I think I see water at the bottom. Coming. I fell. Alright, well, not to ruin the vibe, but Godboy definitely just shat his pants. I don't blame him though, it was more than a 100 block fall. Brandon eventually followed Godboy down the strange cave, and after comprehending what just happened, whoa. They eventually made their way through. Everything seemed normal though. I mean, the amethyst wasn't sticking out very normally, but Brandon still decided he wanted to have some blocks for later. Good on you, Brandon. Sick. But as they were walking through again, I saw him. But then suddenly, he's just not anywhere to be found. Just now? That's weird. This time, I don't think Godboy was referring to the blacked out player, but instead, the cave above it. The generation was so odd. Nothing that Godboy, or anyone for that matter, has seen before. That's not normal, right? No. Wow, okay. It turns out, this cave wasn't a dead end after all. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it's the cobblestone. Any veteran player should know that the only way to get cobblestone without breaking stone is with lava and water. But there's none of that in sight, meaning this cobblestone was placed by a player. And as you can see now, they're breaking it, because obviously the other player, maybe the blacked out player, had blocked himself off while digging into a cave. To no one's surprise, they made it out the other end, and there's another cave, but this one feels different. As they're walking through, they spot granite, which isn't the weirdest thing to find in a cave, it's just that as they walked further and further, there was a lot. So, I mean, if it wasn't obvious already, this is super unnatural. This is a lot of granite. I mean, yeah, Godboy, it is, but that's not even the strangest part. Whoa. Is that the void? Yep. Why is there so much granite? I wonder if the save file was corrupted when we switched versions. Oh, switch versions? How old is this server anyways? Couple years old. Dang! Okay, so I'm gonna mention the elephant in the room here, considering they're not. They're walking in bedrock right now. They're still talking about the SMP. I'm surprised there isn't more builds and everything, but they're seriously just not talking about the bedrock. It's the big elephant in the room. Hello? Look around. I mean, I feel like they should be more weirded out by the fact that there's a big straight cave that changed from granite to bedrock. Also, they're not at a stone level. This should be deep slate. Are we not going to talk about the bedrock? Wait. I see something. A house. Looks a lot like the one I just built. Strangely enough, Godboy was right. The house that was right in front of him was identical to the house he just built, and there were more. There's a staircase at the other end. Yeah. The only way to describe this place is bizarre. Even if someone wasn't creative, it just doesn't seem like something someone would build. As Godboy and Brandon were walking through the houses, Godboy noticed that the lighting from the top of the cave was shining directly at one of the buildings. It had to mean something, so Godboy opened the door to find a chest with an unsigned book inside. You're alone. It's always been you. This message could have been directed at anyone. Even Brandon might have picked this up if he looked around more. Someone wrote a cringy book. What'd it say? One sec. You blew my socks off. Not gonna lie. Don't scare me like that. Here, we can see Godboy showing Brandon the book and says that it was just some creepy stuff, and that he should also look at page 100. This place is so weird. Let me keep the book. Okay, that was unusual. Why was Brandon's first thought when reading that book to throw it in fire? As a matter of fact, why is he so strange when bringing up anything that he's not familiar with? Who would have built all this? There it is again. He just ignores Godboy. Hello? I'm not sure. Brandon and Godboy eventually find the end of the large stone staircase to end up at a cave that looks like it was blown out by TNT. They also notice a trail of torches leading down the cave, which could be another sign that the blacked out player was here, so they follow through. For some reason, Godboy was breaking the torches on the way through. Not a super important detail at all. It's just, at times like this, these details seem to matter the most. For example, there's a lot of other details earlier on that I didn't want to mention yet, like the fact that someone had already left trees floating before Godboy did it himself. The area that Godboy built his house had no grass and was flat, like someone had already built there. And the fact that there's hundreds of duplicates of Godboy's house in a random cave that no one knew about. It all seems to be coming together, but not in the way I expected. Dead end? I guess so. Wait. Somehow, Godboy had noticed that there wasn't a block behind the water source, meaning it had to be something unnatural, which it was. He found a 1 block tall cave and asked Brandon to come over. Yo, I found something. Brandon and Godboy had found themselves in a room. I mean, that's all I can really call it. It's just a room. Not something you would commonly find this deep underground. I mean, there's a window, 2 chests, a crafting table, a furnace, and an anvil before Brandon took it. As we can see here, there's 2 blocks in the ground that look like error blocks. Kinda cliche for a video like this, I know, but the point is, it's not. More like, they aren't. Error blocks commonly have a 2x2 texture, and both of these blocks are just fully purple and fully black. What's even more out of the ordinary is the windows in this area are actually Morse code for 2 letters, one being H and one being I, which is weird because why would anyone just be trying to say hi in Morse code, right? It just went over there. Who? The player. Oh, right. Whoa. This place is insane. It is. This has to be a bug. Looks like doors. Let's go to where the player went. I think we should check the doors, no? But I just thought the whole point was to follow the player. Dude, look. There's something on the other side. What does this mean? You weren't supposed to see him. And that right there is where the first video ends. It's a lot to unpack, but from what it looks like, this server has been in a loop. Which makes sense considering how the trees have already been chopped the exact same way as Godboy, the empty plot of land, and a copy and paste of Godboy's house. But we still have unanswered questions. First, who is the blacked out player? Second, why are we in a loop? And third, who is branded really? A key detail we saw earlier in the footage was a sign that was placed behind Godboy saying, "He's not real," quickly followed by the blacked out player running away. All these questions will be answered soon, but as for now, we're gonna start the second video. Turn left. A message that Godboy didn't see the first time he came through. This sign must be referring to the two directions Godboy0 and the blacked out player went originally, that being the big door or the village. But what's so important about the village? Why did the blacked out player from the first video even go there? Or more importantly, is this even the same blacked out player? I mean, isn't it weird that Godboy has the same inventory as this player? Isn't it weird that this blacked out player does the same FOV zoom as Godboy? Isn't it weird that maybe, just maybe, this is Godboy? I'm led to believe that this is Godboy, but from a different loop. Most specifically, the next one. Just look at the sign he placed. It doesn't say he's not real. Instead, it says don't trust him. Something you would say to your past self if you were just betrayed. So without further ado, let's turn left. My name is Jav. If you've come this far, it means that you've already had your name tag and skin removed. I know for a fact that you don't remember how you actually got on the server. Do you remember putting in an IP? Do you remember pressing play? Exactly, you don't. Long story short, I know the main secret of this so-called server, and it's pretty simple. It's not a server. Now I understand that what I just said doesn't make much sense, but this server has always been whitelisted to you, Godboy0. I do have one more secret to tell you about this place. It may not be a server, but that doesn't mean it isn't multiplayer. Which means he's closer than you think. My name is Godboy0.